Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm an NLP master, I am a Reiki master, and I am a feminine mentor. I truly enjoy working with femininity. I enjoy helping others to embrace their femininity, to open their femininity, to clean their feminine energy, and to become successful in life with their feminine energy. Now, I did it for myself, and I'm helping others to do as well. And today is one of those videos where I'm going to share my experience and what I do to stay in feminine energy. Now, we live in a masculine society, as I already mentioned multiple times. So we have to be somewhat masculine. We have to kind of play by the rules of masculinity, and it is normal. I mean, we were born in this society, so we're kind of used to it. But even in this society, we still should be, and it would be perfect if at least some of us will be in feminine energy. And I will share with you what I do to stay in a healthy feminine energy. Now, I already had a life once, my personal routine to stay in feminine energy. It would be a little different. I will tell you what I do in general to be feminine. What are my actions towards the universe, towards the world outside of me to stay feminine. So first of all, I wanted to mention to you that I was born in feminine energy. I am dominantly water. I have some earth too, which is feminine energy, and a little bit of fire. I don't have any air. So I was born dominantly feminine. And if you will tell me, well, Anastasia, you already have an upper hand. No, I don't actually. Actually, even with my clients, I prefer to work with ladies that have more masculine energy because it is easier to teach them something instead of trying to convince them that something doesn't work for them. For example, I will explain to you. I am energy of water mostly, so I have a lot of emotions. Now, those emotions usually are really good, but they can turn 180 degrees very fast. And it is up to me and up to my my consciousness to keep them always in somewhat positive kind of channel. So, for example, how it could be: I'm watching TikTok and I saw a video. I see a video about something about economy. Now I got stressed. I start worrying. Fears start creeping on me. And I panicked. My femininity became from all optimistic to all pessimistic at once. And usually in those moments, what happened, my masculinity comes out and start acting irrationally. Like, for example, if the economy is somewhat not good, my masculinity would probably sell all the stock that I have, which shouldn't, there is no reason for that, honestly. So I wanted to show you that don't think that just because I have a lot of feminine energy, I have no challenges. I do, and I have more than you probably. But I learn how to live with this. I learn how to stay in a clean feminine energy the majority of the time, and to switch myself when I'm not in that majority of the time positive. So, and I will tell you how I do it, and hopefully this would be somewhat insightful and maybe helpful for you as well. All right, so what do I do to stay feminine? Now, the first thing that I do, I decide for myself a long time ago, and since then I always do it, I rest. And I rest a lot. Even when I was working in a corporate kind of world, I still managed to rest. So, for example, on my lunch, I wouldn't be on my feet, but I would go either to lunchroom and I would lay down a little bit, or I would go to my car and at least stretch my legs and kind of and rest. So, masculine energy is vertical, feminine energy is horizontal. So, to stay in the feminine in feminine energy, a person needs to be horizontal. Feminine energy is basically expands horizontally. That's why people that lay down, they usually relax and they fall asleep, or at least they relax, they kind of calm down. Now, if you want to become more masculine, more active, you get up and you start doing actions. You either run or walk or something like that. And this is it is actually normal. Now, so I do allow myself to rest. I rest constantly. So, for example, I allow myself to rest. So I don't overschedule myself. If I have some kind of some active few hours, I make sure that after those a few hours I have at least half an hour rest for myself. I make sure that I always have somewhere to kind of to sit, that I wouldn't just get tea or coffee and on the run, that I can sit and relax a little bit. So this became very, very important. Now, why is it so important? Well, despite the fact that feminine energy is horizontal, feminine energy is also inside and not outside. So when we're in a society, when we're socializing with others, when we're doing for others, when we're active, our energy tends to come outside. Obviously, it's normal. And to stay feminine, you need to bring the energy back into your aura, into your energy fields. And that's what resting does. When I sit for a few minutes, maybe I do some deep breathing, some square breathing, I bring the energy back to me, return it back to my aura. I return my power to me like this, and this is important. Now, if I would not rest, my energy will become weak. It will be wasted, and I will become very vulnerable. When I become vulnerable, I start protecting myself, because I already have a little energy. Now that energy is almost out, so I start becoming somewhat defensive. I start I said maybe even arguing with you because I need rest. I become not as pleasant as I usually am. So resting is very, very important for me and for you as well, if you want to be feminine. Now, you can stay masculine, but for that you will be constantly active, constantly outside. If you have dominantly masculine energy, that would be normal for you. There's nothing wrong with that. But for women that want to be feminine, rest is extremely important. Choose your rest. I mean, it doesn't have to be laying on the couch all day or sitting in the cafe. It could be anything else, as long as it's somewhat horizontal. At least you can sit. At least you can stretch yourself a little bit. As long as you can have a few minutes to yourself, like a little piece that you can stay in quietness and just recharge yourself, regain the energy, put the focus back inside of your body, inside of your physical body and your energetic body. Okay, the second thing that I do is I trust. And you will say, well, what's special about that? Well, I will tell you what's special about that. Femininity is about acceptance and trust, about asking and receiving and trusting that the woman will receive that, or a man for that matter. Now, it wasn't always like this for me, because for a long time I lived on my own. I kind of was on my own, so I had to count on myself for a long time. Plus, my father passed away very early, so I also kind of had to count on myself and obviously on my mom. What I want to say is trust is very important, feminine energy. If you don't have trust, it's almost impossible to be feminine, because you will always doubt the masculinity, the world outside of you, and this is almost impossible to live like this. So how did I start to trust? Well, it started with a little pep talk to myself. Like I would say, well, everything is good now, everything was good in the past. Yeah, we had some challenges, but we overcame those challenges. I'm sure in the future it will be even better. Like this, I would really sit and talk to myself like to a little kid. Like I would say, well, Anastasia, we solved this issue, we did this. I'm sure what's coming could not be any more challenging than what we had before. And little by little, I started believing this. This was even when I just started working with energy. Then when I started working with energy, I started working with my root chakra. Root chakra is our security. And the more I was working with root chakra, the more I understood that everything is under control, so to say. That whether I believe in this or not, it will be good. And I just need to somewhat trust the world around me and just focus on enjoyment instead of focusing on what I don't like. All right, so that's about trust. Now I can say I still not 100% in trust to everybody and to everything, but it's much easier for me to start trusting, like trusting to men, um, trusting that I will be able to provide for myself, I will be able to create the future for myself, I will be able to be with man, with really successful man. I like this. This is really important to have this inner feeling inside. So that was trust, and trust was important for me. I think from all of the sections, trust was the most important. After rest, because once I realized that the rest is important, I stopped being like a hamster in a wheel that has need constantly to run. But trusting even allowed me to want more and to dream more, just because I know it's possible to gain, kind of like that. Now the third thing that I started to do, I started focusing on myself. Now I already talked about this a few times. Because I'm so highly empathetic, I'm energy of water, and energy of water is highly influenced by others. You see, if you threw some salt into water, the water becomes salty. If you threw salt into fire, probably not much will happen. I mean, depending how much salt you will throw. If you threw salt in the air, also nothing will happen. If you threw salt in the earth, I mean, it will be affected, but not as fast as water. So I'm empathetic. The emotions of others, the feelings of others are influencing me, and I'm working with people. Obviously, I have clients that are that have serious challenges. So what I learned to do, what I started to do, what I'm doing all the time, I constantly take my energy back all the time, every evening before I go to sleep, and I focus on myself. So I don't allow myself to hang in other person's life issues or problems. If I have a consultation, I make sure that after consultation, usually after consultation, I write like a to-do list to the client. After I'm done with that, I'm done with the person. So I completely cut the ties, because it is better for me and better for the other person. The other person is not, I'm not invading their energy space. Even if I mean good, I still shouldn't be in their energy space. It wouldn't be productive for them. I can't be holding my clients' hands all the time. They need to learn how to live and manage it on their own. So I always make sure that I'm out of that energy space, and I'm not invading, and I'm not solving their issues for them. So it's not only with my clients, it's pretty much with everybody. So if somebody will tell me something is going on, I wouldn't be hanging in that situation. I wouldn't be thinking, how it will affect me, or maybe I should advise something to this person, or maybe I should do something, or maybe this, or maybe that. I wouldn't. Like if the situation does not directly affect me anyhow, I wouldn't be hanging in there. I would revert myself back to my current ongoing issue. So I would be thinking about something that's going on in my life, and when I started doing it, I would do it on purpose. So when I started watching my attention, I had a lot of tools, and one of the tools was my alarm. So I was setting alarm for every 15 minutes, and every time the alarm would go on, so I would have 11, 11:15, 11:30, 11:45, then 12, 12:15. So like this, quarter of an hour. Every quarter of hour, I would have an alarm. As soon as the alarm would go on, I would have to kind of answer myself where my thoughts are, what I'm thinking about, and I need to make sure that it was about something about me, that I'm focused on myself. Unless I'm planning some kind of maybe events with somebody, something like that, then obviously I'm focusing on this group event. But for the most part, my thoughts are always about me, about what I'm doing, about stuff like that. Doesn't mean that I'm not thinking of helping others. Of course I do. But I make sure that it does not occupy the majority of my time. So that's what I do. I do all the time. I watch it, because feminine energy is very. So if masculine energy, more selfish, kind of egoistic, focus on itself, so it takes and moves, kind of. Feminine energy gives and stays. So it doesn't. is involved in everybody and around her. So if I wouldn't be looking after myself, my energy would be wasted, and then I wouldn't be able to help anybody else. I wouldn't be able to feel anybody else with energy. So it is important. It makes me a self-sufficient person. It would do you as well if you have issues like this also. Especially if you have a lot of energy of water, you need to make sure that you're not hanging in other people's spaces. So this is the third one. The fourth one is I allow myself to want things and to spoil myself. Now, despite the fact that I'm feminine and therefore I should have a lot of wishes and a lot of desires, usually in our masculine society, it is a masculine woman that want and get. Feminine women often don't get, because they're so empathetic, they're so focused on their families, on somebody else, that they often are afraid to ask, especially because in our society asking for something is considered maybe not as good as getting something for yourself, or maybe to save money or something. So I allowed myself to want things and to spoil myself. Yes, maybe I couldn't yet buy myself another planet or a private plane, but it isn't my power to buy myself 13 things and maybe to go to certain places, to stay in particular places. Like I can allow myself that. So I allow myself to want things that are not maybe practical, maybe not maybe would not benefit me anyhow, but at this moment I want it and I go and I get it just because I want it. I allow my inner child to be happy and to feel that it's loved. Yes, I understand that through buying things I'm not giving love to my inner child, but this is just a part of the process, so to say. So I allow myself to want new things and to have this opportunity, have this option of getting myself something. So for example, wouldn't go too far. If I would decide, I think I need to have a new sandals or some new shoes or something like that, I have this option that I can go and buy. I mean, and I wouldn't think twice about the price. Like how often do we buy ourselves to think about the price that often? So if I want the shoes for $50 or for $500, I will buy myself that because that's just me. So once I start doing that, I noticed how the men around me started giving me, how I started getting presents from randomest people. I started getting some discounts. I started getting free stuff from universe. I would go to the restaurant, they would take care of the bill, or they would give me something in the house. So I noticed that, but it only happened when I start allowing myself wanting and start giving myself. You see, I kind of showed the universe that I'm ready to receive and I'm ready to allow myself to receive, and I start receiving things back. So, but first, of course, it started with me. Now, again, I need to repeat. Yes, my inner child is happy when I'm getting myself something like cute shoes or something like that. But again, this is not all the work that you need to do with the inner child. Obviously, if you have issues with inner child, with self-love, you should do my meditation on heal your inner child. It's very powerful, strong meditation. All right, and the next one that I do to stay feminine is I work with my energy. No matter how many shoes I will buy myself, no matter how much I trust the universe, no matter how long I will rest or how long I will lay down and be in horizontal position, I still need to work on my energy. And even though at one point I thought, well, if I will do everything that I need to do, I will be feminine. Especially, I remember I was buying flowers and going to, well, I spoke about this in another dialogue. It never helped me. I mean, it did kind of boost my confidence a little bit, but still it was not everything. So feminine energy is inside, as I said, within the aura, within our bodies, within our physical body, and outside our body. Yes, masculine energy also is within its aura, but masculine energy is mostly outside. Feminine energy is inside. Masculinity is strong outside. Femininity is strong inside. Now, to be strong inside, I have to have something to to be strong with. I mean, I could not be strong if I don't have the power. I have to have energy that will fill up my aura. So if my aura is like this, well, it's wider, but that's okay. So if my aura is like this, I will have to have enough energy to fill this space. Only when it's completely filled, I am calm, I'm composed, I'm happy, I can give then the energy to others. So I need to make sure that my energy is clean, pure, and obviously calm and not chaotic. So I work on my energy all the time. Now, fortunately for me, I'm a Reiki master, so I can do it. It's easy for me. I mean, obviously it took some time. It took me almost a couple of years to get to where I am right now. But thanks God, I manage and I can do it. This is exactly what I do for my ladies when I do energy alignment. I balance their feminine chakras and their feminine bodies. So they also will have the same energy as I do. Maybe they don't have as good of my energy because I keep my energy all the time like this. They don't always keep it like this. But I balance it for them for at least some time. Now, you would also need to do this. And if you want to learn more about how to balance feminine chakras, watch my video. I will put it in the description of this one, dominant feminine chakras, and how to balance them. You will find out. But basically, you need to make sure that your energy is always vibrating high. It needs to be feminine. It needs to be peaceful, calm. I mean, a man is drawn to a woman because he's getting something from her, some kind of energy. And unless you have that energy, he wouldn't be drawn to you. I noticed that even long before I was a Reiki practitioner. And you probably noticed that too. When you're happy, when you're enjoying yourself, different men start texting you, calling you. I mean, everybody wants a piece of you, so to say. Everybody wants to be part of this kind of enjoyment. But then when you are suddenly unhappy or vulnerable, or maybe you're sick, or you have some kind of challenges or problems, it seems like everybody disappeared, and even if you try to contact them, they still unavailable for you. So people, you couldn't blame them. People want you for your energy, and that's normal, like somebody told me here in Greece, people only want you for your money. And I said, well, thanks God, at least they want me for something. So I could not blame others that maybe men want me for my energy. I mean, that's fine. That's all I can give them. I mean, obviously they give me something, I give them something. I'm not upset. I'm happy that I have something to give. I'm happy that I have that ability to provide. So, but I need to make sure that energy is sufficient. So they wouldn't just come and go. It's that they will stay, and they will want to stay longer and longer and longer, and to give me more and to provide for me because they enjoy it so much. So I work on my energy all the time. I don't only do it to draw in my life man, woman, friends, or other people. I do it for my own health. I mean, energy is our health. The healthier our energy is, the healthier our bodies are, and this is important. I do it for my youth. I don't exactly do this subjects yet, but maybe I will. But energy does really help us to stay younger. And I actually have colleagues that work with Reiki only for their so they do like healing, but healing for basically they become in they're working with clients who want to stay younger, who want to stay younger longer, who want to look younger, like that. So they don't heal them from particular diseases. They just heal their aura, they heal their energies, so they will stay vibrant and healthier and younger for longer. So if you have a stronger feminine energy, you basically contributing to the world around you. Whether you want it or not, but we are a product of our society, and we influence our society. So if I'm here with a whole bunch of other people, my energy will help everybody, especially if their energy is not as high as mine. Now, if I will be among people that have higher energy, they basically will help me. So it's only it's our contribution to the world around. Instead of giving to charity couple dollars here and there, it would be much better if you will just provide good energy. Now, also for selfish reasons, as I already mentioned, while my energy is strong, I am needed and I'm wanted, and this is really, really important. Now, besides energetic practices, I also make sure that I eat right and I exercise. This would keep my energy vibrant. Because I don't have too much masculine energy, my metabolism is not as fast. Now, if you have a lot of masculine energy, probably you wouldn't care much for exercises. If you have too much masculine energy, I would rather you do more meditations, more kind of common exercises, like relaxing exercise. I also need to mention that I do have a course, An Ultimate Guide to Femininity, and in that course there are a lot of energy practices, like the practices for the femininity. These are practices, Tao practices, that I learned while I was studying Tantra. So if you want to become really, really feminine, you should get that course and you should start doing those exercises. They're really strong, really. Not only strong, they really bring huge results. I was doing them for some time, and still now I do them sometimes. And the last one, I keep my masculinity clean. You would say, what does it have to do with your feminine side? Well, it is important. Now, I have my masculine me, and I have my feminine me, and then I have a part of masculinity in me. As you know, every woman should have 75%, she should be 75% feminine and 25% masculine. That's ideal, that we're all aiming for. But I understand that some women are more masculine, some women are more feminine. Well, more feminine would be wrong, but more masculine, it's normal, it's our society. We live in a masculine society, whether I want it or not. Sometimes I have to be more masculine to provide the security for myself, to cater to myself. Now, but to have a strong, powerful femininity, I need to have a somewhat strong, powerful masculinity inside of me, and I work on that daily. Even though I don't operate in my masculine energy, I make sure that my masculinity is on point. Again, as in the beginning, I gave an example. When my femininity becomes dirty and the emotions become not where they should be, when I start panic, when I let fear catch me, when I allow worries being inside of me, when I allow all this negativity inside of me, my masculinity to protect me start doing actions that are not rational, that are not that would not benefit me in the long run. And why my masculinity doing this? Because the masculinity also is weakened by my femininity. So I make sure that my masculinity is strong. How do I do that? Well, I go for a run almost every day. I do what is it called? Contrast showers, so hot, cold, hot, cold. I also eat vegetables often. These are also very, very productive. I try to cut on sugars. I really keep my masculine energy strong. Now, in this case, when my masculine energy is strong, when I feel like I'm in control, yeah, my emotions can go through the roof, but my masculine part knows that it's only a temporary thing and it will be resolved, and I will get back to my happy, pleasurable self. So masculinity is important. I will do another video on how to keep the masculine energy healthy and productive, but for this subject, I think that would be enough. All right. So to sum it up, so what do I do to stay feminine? What I do, not necessarily somebody does, but what I do. And remember, buying yourself things, flowers, dancing, these are not really, this will not keep you feminine. It will kind of diverse a little bit. It will bring some interesting changes into your life, but it will not keep you feminine. These are outside actions that are trying to control whether you are a woman or a man. It doesn't mean that you are becoming truly feminine. Femininity comes from the inside. You need to feel feminine. And yeah, if you never receive flowers and suddenly you buy yourself flowers, you will feel feminine, I mean, obviously, but it will not be sustainable. You need to feel inside. You need to feel really feminine inside. So what do? To feel like this, to feel like I'm in pleasure, in trust, that I'm receiving, that I'm accepting anything, that I can share the pleasure that I can create. How do I stay like this? First of all, I rest. I allow myself times to work, time to be active, and then time to rest. For example, if I'm going sightseeing, I'm sightseeing for like 2 hours. Then I go to a cafe, I sit somewhere, I get myself tea, and I just sit for a little bit, just enjoying the people around me like this. I would not be running for 8 hours straight because I know I will be exhausted. I wouldn't even enjoy the places around me that I'm seeing. So I allow myself to rest and recharge. This is crucial. If I don't rest, I become very somewhat aggressive, very defensive. I'm not me. I become like a Cinderella that becomes some monster out from being tired. All right. I started to trust. It took me some time, and it was not easy for me, but I do trust, and it's getting easier and easier and easier. First of all, I trust in men, and I trust in the universe around me, in the energy around me, and in my own power. Honestly, the universe, the man and everything, it's just basically trusting that I'm capable of doing all this. The third one, I focus on myself. I make sure I don't hang in others' business. I don't hang in other people, and I don't stay in somebody's energy field. I also don't hang in any kind of problems, issues, events. Like I wouldn't be thinking about. I read the news obviously, but I wouldn't be sitting in those news and just thinking for days and days what's going to be like I used to. So I always take my energy back, and I always make sure that I'm within myself. The fourth one is I allow myself to want things, and I allow myself to give those things to myself. Now, doesn't mean that I am completely go crazy spending, but if I want something, I give myself something, and because I do that, the universe reciprocates. I get presents from men, I get presents just from randomest places and people. And the next one, I work with my energy. I mean, this is not news. I'm a Reiki master. I have to work with energy. I work with people's energy. I obviously work with my energy. But particularly, I work with feminine centers. This is, the first center is root chakra because it gives security. And then second, fourth, and sixth chakra. And if you want to learn more, I will put the video on feminine chakras. You can learn more. I'm not going to repeat myself here. But basically, these are the chakras and energy fields that needs to be active if you want to stay feminine. And it helps me not only keeping the energy healthy. It doesn't only help me with men. I mean, this is not even a priority. Men are not priority, but I mean, they are drawn on healthy energy. But it helps with my health, with the way I look, and obviously helps me to stay more successful, more enjoyable in my life. What's happening there? All right. And the sixth one, I keep my masculinity clean. Keeping masculinity clean is important. When I started on my feminine journey, I remember one of my teachers, she said, make sure your masculine energy, don't give up on your masculine energy. Your masculine energy also has to be strong. And I was like, why should I focus on my masculine energy? I don't want to be masculine. This is what I left. I left that like the corporate world, all that masculinity behind me. So I was only working on my feminine chakras all the time, but I am dominantly feminine. Now, if I'm not going to produce the masculinity inside of me, if I am not going to keep it clean, then who is going to do it for me? So I remember it took me some time to realize that she was right. I do also need to work on my masculinity. So I started like really exercising. I started adding this fire and air into my life. Femininity is good, obviously. This is my priority. This is you know, I'm a woman, so I have to be feminine. That's normal. But I also need to keep that 25% of masculinity in me clean. Okay, these are all. Probably I will do a video on how to keep the masculinity on point. But for this one, I hope this video gave you some insights. Hopefully you will take something for yourself. And if you know anybody who also wants to be feminine, who also is on this journey, send it to them. Hopefully it will be useful for them as well. And again, I have a course, an ultimate guide to femininity. It will be in the description of this video. You can purchase it, and you can also learn how to be more feminine. In that course, it's not about learning, it's really about practicing. I give the exercise that I did, tower exercises. With them, you basically move energy in a particular way to get to where you want to be, to open this femininity in you naturally. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for being here. Please follow, like, send it to whoever else, whoever you think will benefit from this video. And if you have any questions, do ask them. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.